Very good morning to all. Today we'll discuss the topic of introduction to the machine learning. So first we will see what is machine learning. Machine learning is an application of artificial intelligence that involves algorithms and data that automatically analyzes and makes a decision by itself without human intervention. What do you mean? Automatic generation without human intervention means we are training our machines in such a manner that it will be able to learn from the data which is fed to it, and will be predicting will be helping to predict the future coming instances without the human interaction or intervention in that particular task. That is, once the machine is trained, it can be used directly for making the predictions on the unknown instances. So it describes how computer performs tasks on their own by the previous experiences. Here, the previous experiences is termed as a training data. Means the data we are going to use during the training session is termed as the previous data. And depending upon this previous data, we will be predicting the future upcoming instances. Therefore, we can say in machine learning, artificial intelligence is generated on the basis of experience. That is, on the training data. The intelligence which is generated based on the previous experience, we call it as a training data, and depending upon that experience, we are predicting the future coming instances. So now what is the difference between normal computers versus machine learning? The major difference between these two is the software and machines is that a human developer hasn't given a code that instructs the system how to react on a particular situation. Instead, it is being trained by a larger number of data. And that for performing a particular action, we need not have to give a particular code each and every time. It will be producing output by its own once the training session is completed. We have not to write a separate code for every time action. So that is the major difference between the normal computers versus the machine learning. Okay. So these are some of the machine learning algorithms that we can see in most of the used algorithms that are neural networks. First one is neural network, which consisting of different layers, which is inspired from human biological system. That is from the human neural system. We are trying to replicate the human brain into the machine so as to make a particular decision, to go through certain layers and to able to predict particular output. So this is one of the, we will see more detail of neural networks in further sessions. First, and then second is a random forest. It's like a combination of many decision trees to a giant decision tree, which is capable of making decisions at the end of the tree. So now, what is decision tree? Decision tree, it is consisting of many decision nodes. Depending upon the decision we can make at the particular point for the particular instance, we are going either on the right side of the node or left side of that node. So this now, how does decision nodes are to be considered? Like which node to be placed at the root node, which node to be placed at the heights of various heights of the tree, and which is to be placed at the leaf nodes. So how we can do it is by using the concepts of entropy and information gain. What is entropy? Entropy means the amount of impurity these are actually nodes are nothing but the attributes. So the amount of impurity in the particular attribute column is termed as entropy. It is calculated with certain formula. We'll see in more detail during that session, that is decision tree session. So till now, after that entropy, we will be calculating information gain, and based on that information gain, this will be helpful depending upon which attribute or which attribute is giving us more information gain. that we are placing at to the root node and later on to the next height and later on and so on. So in this manner, we are constructing the decision tree based on this two to three factors. It depends upon the algorithm we are using, whether ideal, three, or other algorithm. So we'll see that in more detail in next session. Then next is genetic algorithm. What is genetic algorithm means, as like a human genes, how we pass from one generation to another generation. Likewise, we need to transmit certain good decision which is made in the previous machines, or which are the bad decisions which should not be followed. We must consider those, and we must carry forward those type of features, or those type of, we can say, observations what we made in a previous machine. It should be carry forward. So that is in short what is about genetic algorithm. So this is there is another algorithms called as a radial basis function, sigmoid function. This is entirely based on neural sigmoid function. What will be the particular algorithm for designing that sigmoid function? Sigmoid function is nothing but a neuron, which is it is a neuron which is fitted to the sigmoid module. The sigmoid module is capable of giving the output depending upon the input and particular algorithm to which it is provided. So this we'll see in more detail in next session. Then we'll look after what are the types of machine learning. There are basically three types of machine learning. First one is supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. What what do you call it by supervised learning? Supervised learning is nothing but which uses the labeled data as a training data. Now, what do we call that a labeled data? That means already those instances which are provided in the training instances, those are all labeled based on the classes, whether it belongs to particular class or not. It is already specified in the training instances itself. So, while predicting the future instances, it will look after these labels, and depending upon these labels, it will assign any one of the labels which is relevant to it and give the resulting outputs. So, in this supervised kind of learning, mostly classification and regression algorithms will be considered. Then, second one will be unsupervised learning algorithm. In here, we will be having unlabeled data, means the data with just the attributes and the instances. That's it, without any label columns. Class labels are absent in the case of unsupervised learning. Here, most of the clustering algorithms will be considered under unsupervised learning algorithm. That are, if we will get in the output as a graph with a number of clusters, and these clusters will be defining different classes, mostly k-means, and different type of clustering algorithms are then designed, where means it will classify based on if, for example, if a new coming instances has occurred, so based on the distance either, or the radii and the radii entry of that point from the um, particular center of the cluster, it is considered. So this this falls under unsupervised learning algorithm. Now, what is reinforcement learning? Reinforcement learning is nothing but which we call it as feedback type of learning. It is not a supervised kind of learning. That means the data is not labeled, but sometimes it can be labeled also. It is not compulsory like it should be supervised and it should be unsupervised. But the main difference we can see is it is a feedback network type of learning. That means each time we will get an output, it is again fitted to input, like whether this prediction will is wrong, to what percent it is wrong, to what percent it is accurate to the earlier instances. So based on that feedbacks, it will keep on working. Then some of the machine learning uses are traffic predictions. Traffic predictions, we are using GPS tracking system to track the movements of vehicles on a particular direction. And if the more amount of what we can call if the more amount of GPS points, GPS location we got from a particular point, that means that area is loaded with a heavy traffic, and that is indicated by certain red line. Sometimes we can see this real-time application like Google Maps, where it is indicated by red lines or yellow lines. Like if the traffic is heavy, it will show by red lines and yellow lines for the light traffic. These are all achieved through this machine learning techniques only. We are applying here clustering algorithms to determine whether it is traffic area or not. Then personal assistant. The major example of this will be Google Assistant, where where we are demanding for anything, any information, any data we needed from the computer or any digital environment, and we'll get to know with the matching syntaxes. So this is example of which is where the machine learning algorithms will be used. Next is speech recognition. How we are recognizing speech means we are using a pattern matching technique to recognize the speech of particular person. It is matching with the previous speech in the record or not, and this is done using machine learning. Then after email spamming. Email spamming means how we are doing email spamming is we are filtering out the emails depending upon the most founded words. That too in a spam folder, spam type of mails, what kind of words that are similar to occur, depending upon that probability, this is email spamming is done. The major algorithm which we used over here is innate bias. We are using Bayesian theorem, like probabilistic approach to find the probability of a particular word into that email. And if this probability is incremented to that threshold point, it will be considered as spam, else it will be not spam. Then bioinformatics, matching of DNAs and anything. This one was just an example like DNA, where we use pattern matching to identify whether the DNA belongs to a particular person or not. Then NLP, natural language processing, which in terms specifies is means like we are using natural language processing for real time example. We can say as a chatbots where we are interacting with the machines without the human need. We are asking them help. We are asking a query to the chatbot, and it is responding back with some answers. So it is like machine learning technique which is used without human intervention. Well, these are some of the real-time examples of machine learning. First one is traffic prediction, as already discussed, virtual personal assistant, online transportation, social media services, email spam filtering, recommendation, and online fraud detection. Online fraud detection, this and recommendation is nowadays growingly like most demanding real-time examples of machine learning. Like as we keep on searching for a particular item or particular product into the net or a social media, it will continuously recommend the same type of item from different sites, or either same type of similar kind of items into our recommendation, so that we do not have to search for it. It will provide automatically based on our previous search histories. Then is online fraud detection. Online fraud detection, what it indicates means how how the fraud or fake news are becoming viral through this social media sites. We are analyzing it, and after analyzing, we will get to know, okay, this is the fraud news or a fake news. We should not believe depending upon this machine learning techniques. Some of the base programming language of machine learnings are Python, Java, C, C++, Shell, R, JavaScript. Scala, Shell, Julia. Mostly we will be preferring with Python. Why? As all the um, modules or all the functions in the Python are all built in. So no need for a special effect or no need of creating any another classes, functions, and no need to worry about anything depth in the algorithm. We can just use it um, by importing the particular module, by importing particular function into our original program, and there we go. We can start our programming from the language. So, what is the important is just a Python will be more convenient to use as in case of machine learning AI. So we have many times we have heard like these two terms are little bit confusing or they are compared like uh, they are considered like a similar things, but it is not true. There is a difference between machine learning and artificial intelligence. So what is the difference? Artificial intelligence is a concept of creating intelligent machines that stimulate human behavior, whereas machine is a subset of artificial intelligence that allows machine to learn from the data without being programmed. What it means is every time we need not have to train the machine. Once we generated certain intelligence in it, it will behave accordingly. Not as like a machine learning where we need to train a data. As soon as some new occurrence of the event occur, we need to again train the module to get the more appropriate results. So this is the major difference between machine learning and artificial intelligence. So what are the advantages of machine learning? Um, some of the advantages listed here are fast, accurate, efficient automation of the most applications, wide range of the real-time application, enhanced cybersecurity and spam detection, no human intervention is needed, and handling multidimensional data. Here, multidimensional data means not only we can filter out or we can access or we can predict on detection kind of data, it will be helpful for predicting even image which are looking alike or our videos who looks which are similar to each other. We can predict it by using machine learning. Some of the disadvantages is we cannot identify and rectify that the error actually has been occurred, where it is in the training, testing, or during the procedure. So it is the tedious task to know. Next is data acquisition. Here, the data acquisition not only considers of data collection from data various data centers. It mainly considers of the how we are processing the data, how we are reprocessing our data, how we are making it sure that it is noise free, outlier free, and accurate enough to process from the further algorithm. Then interpretation of results requires more time. Interpretation of then we will not be common questions will not be able to predict the results as soon as it appears. It takes some time and also it will take more space to interpret it. So these are some of the disadvantages of machine learning. If we have learned the basic about what is machine learning, basic difference between AI and machine learning, the real-time applications, advantages, disadvantages of machine learning. Thank you.